What's up YouTube? My name is Axel and I recently started printing my photos at home. And I want to preface by saying this that I'm not a pro at all when it comes to printing or really anything. But I thought it'd be cool to share with you guys some of the things that I've learned the last few weeks of printing my photos. It's been a very interesting journey with a lot of late nights tweaking the settings and trying to figure out what the limitations are for my printer. Now I've been using a Canon Pixma printer. It's a little bit older. I believe it came out in 2016. It's not the best, but for what I'm trying to do, it's good enough. For the last few weeks, I started printing and I've printed a good amount of photos and I'm not really proud of any of them. The colors are off, the paper is interesting. It's just all these things are like so many lines, right? It's like just not knowing what I'm doing, but I've been able to get to a place where I feel a little bit more comfortable with it, and finally getting to places like this where it's like, oh man, like that's a pretty decent print. It's like, let me try to center that. Like that's a pretty decent print. I have noticed though that here in my shadows and darks is where I'm getting some bleed lines. I'm assuming it's because I have a cheap printer. I might be wrong, I don't know. Please let me know if you know in the comments below. But being able to do this, it's been fun. Getting to mess with different types of papers and cuts and gloss. Like this is like a super glossy kind of thing. And then this is a very matte finish, which in my personal opinion, I actually like this matte finish a little bit more. It looks less cheap than this one, right? And this is just like HP photo printer that I found at Staples. Before, I used to only just take a photo and then bring it into Lightroom, edit it, and then resize it, and boom, go to Instagram, go to Unsplash, post on Facebook so my grandma can see it, but that was pretty much it. A few weeks later, a couple days later, or even just a handful of hours later in that day, there's new photos. And now, those old photos that I was proud of were just part of the collection now, and I would forget about them. But with printing, I've noticed there's a longer life shelf to the memory of taking this photo. Now, it's not perfect, the colors aren't great, and I'm still learning a lot. But being able to have this physically in my hand brings a different level of appreciation to the art of photography. Now, besides just finding a new appreciation for photography and prints this last week or two, I've also learned a few things. The main thing I've learned is like, you're never really done learning. Now, I think we can all agree that that's a good thought, but a lot of us get to a place where it's like, bro, I've spent hundreds of hours doing this. I know what I'm doing. And not take anything away from you, I think the same way sometimes. But through printing, I realized, bro, my editing might not be as pro as I thought. Seeing it in person and seeing it up close, like, doesn't matter how big of a screen you have, you're not gonna get this close. Like, I can see things and details here that I will never be able to see on my monitor. One of the other things that I've learned through printing the last few weeks is that I need to slow down. Living in this digital photo time has really crippled us. I catch myself all the time just uploading photos to Lightroom, throwing a quick preset, changing the exposure out a little bit, and there we go, the photo's done. And that might be great for a digital photo, but when you're printing it, each photo has its own unique thing. Like now, I have this photo here of Puerto Rico, but I have this photo too. And these are just taken a few minutes apart from each other. Now, before I started printing, both of these photos should have the same exact preset on them, and I just kind of threw it on there and good to go. 5 stars, put them in the red folder, export them at the end of the day, and I was happy. And I posted them on Instagram, and I got the likes, and I got the thumbs up on Facebook, and we were good to go. But printing them, I've learned that the colors look different. And now I had to go back and spend a lot more time editing each photo. I know this video is all over the place, but I hope it helps you see a different perspective of creating. I hope that you're able to see past just printing photos, but the beauty of creating. Now, to be honest with you, there's so much more to learn, like I mentioned earlier. But I'm a big fan of the thought, done is better than perfect. Because I believe that there's no growth, like the growth you can learn from putting yourself out there. with all that being said, I'm delivering my first print today. It's gonna be hand delivered to a good friend of mine, and I'm nervous. I'm really nervous, and don't worry, I'll make a video with the follow-up to me delivering this print. Don't wait till it's perfect, because it's never gonna be perfect. Don't wait till you have all the right equipment, because you might never have it. And don't wait for the moment when you're ready, because you might never be ready. Do take your time. Please invest in yourself. Get on YouTube, ask different people questions. Please put time into it, but always take your shot. If that means posting that photo on Instagram that you're not completely sold on, or posting that video on YouTube that shows how awkward you are, but you're never gonna get better until you post that video, or delivering your first print where it's not perfect, but the lessons I can learn from delivering this are unmatched. Well, YouTube, that's all I gotta say today. Make sure you post that photo, edit that video, put it on YouTube, start that Twitch channel, whatever you aspire to be, start it. Don't wait to be perfect or to have all your equipment or not to be awkward anymore. Just do it. Love you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment below if you have any ideas or comments, and make sure you tag me on Instagram at ax.vasquez. I would love to see your work. Love you guys. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you next time. Peace.